Yes, 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 yes. Cross-YAAS Podcast with Giselle Mirasol and Billie.
Welcome to the Curi-YAAS Podcast, the podcast that says yes to cross-dressing, sexuality, and gender. Today's special guest is Joey. It's too early to introduce yourself because I forgot to introduce myself. I'm your trans woman host, Billie. It's with an IE, not with a Y. Some people spell it right. Not all the time, though. Well, anyway, I don't really have a whole lot to add right now, but I'm sure Joey has a very long list of things she would love to talk about. So, Joey, if you would love to introduce yourself, please, that would be fantastic.
Thank you, Billy. It's so good to be here. I can't believe I'm doing this. This feels kind of crazy. But I'm Joey Faye. And I've been a Cross-YAAS listener since 2021. Yeah. And
Dang.
it's been sort of my savior, sort of
Mm.
my beacon and light, in times of darkness. It's just the stories I hear, everything. I just love it. And did a lot of self-reflecting. So want to thank you, Billy, and
Aw.
Giselle, everybody involved with the show. It's just awesome. All the guests. It's just been tremendous. It's just I feel like we're one big family. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Aw.
yeah.
That's awesome. Are there any episodes that like stuck out to you?
The a couple. So I'm a couple of episodes that stuck out to me was it was an early episode. Giselle. It was just Giselle and I guess a sex worker
Mm.
in some other country. It was early on in the podcast, um, and I think it was she was. I think she was escorting and sort of in between escorting and sort of way beyond that phase of cross dressing, but escorting and what her experience was, right?
Yeah, that's
So,
so
yeah,
familiar.
yeah.
I
I'm
feel
trying
like
to
I may
remember
have
the
recorded an episode with them and I haven't put it out. I hope not. I hope not. If I have, I'm so sorry.
but it was a super cool episode. That one and a couple of the recent ones. The one with Tommy
Mm-hmm.
that was super. Just I was just living through her experience and just it's just I feel just so much empathy for her and the other girls like I should pull up the thing because I'm horrible with names but uh,
You just say they're all great. That's fine.
yeah, they're all great. They're just super great, and just a lot of their coming out stories that spoke up a lot to me because they're all coming from different angles, whether they're in a family, whether they're by themselves, or just starting out on their own, or late in their exploration, or
Mm-hmm.
early on. It was just sort of wow. There's just so many different angles, and it's not a one size fits all, and the way we approach dealing and coping with the struggles, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
stigma of all this stuff is just so many ways to go about it. And depending on your situation, you could take one path or the other path, and it doesn't work the same for all. It's completely different results. Um, but it's just you guys have been my therapy.
Aw.
Listening to the podcast has just been sort of my therapy. It helped me through some dark times, and we'll get to that. With my list of things, I made the list. It started with a few, like categories, and I was like, "Holy fuck, here we go, life
Yeah.
story."
Hey, I'm happy you came prepared because makes my job easier.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. It's kind of the first time I ever did this, and I would list down things about an experience or whatever, but never specifically about cross dressing and my journey. So
Mm-hmm.
this was the
Mm-hmm.
first time. This was a really good exercise. Yeah.
So, Joey, I interrupted your introduction a bit. I'm so sorry.
Oh no,
But how do you identify?
good question. So I currently identify as pangender.
Pangent. Okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean to
And
you?
so to me, that means what I feel comfortable right now in my skin. And right now, it's really leaning feminine. towards femininity. And you know, I don't live the lifestyle 24/7. I wish I could, but due to circumstances, I cannot. And so I can also, I'm sensitive to those that are full on, they're living it 24/7. They're in transition, they're in the process, they're living it. I want to respect that. So there was a time where I called myself trans, but I kind of stepped back from that because there's a difference, right? I'm some say there would be a difference, some wouldn't. Um, but I guess to make it easier for others, I suppose. And I know that sounds dumb, but I've been through a lot of like live streams and group chats and everything, and I would get hammered. Like people would just start throwing stones. It's like, you're not trans, you're not transgender, you shouldn't, you're cross dressing and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, all right, yeah, no offense, I didn't mean, I'm
Mm.
totally just, yeah. So it's kind of, that was my experience with the whole thing. It's kind of crazy. Um, but that got me started like on, okay, let me look at what are the different categories out there. What are the, and I've been asking questions, some in the Cross-YAAS, some in some other kick group, cross dressing community that I'm a part of. And it's like, well, maybe you're gender fluid. Well, what's gender fluidity? I have no idea. So I was looking at all that, and just started. There's just tons, hundreds, dozens of them. I'm like, okay, no, that's very specific. No, I'm not that.
Mhm, mhm,
and and the pangender sort of spoke out to me because it was very, it's close to gender fluid, very close, but with the main thing being, you you are who you feel you are at that moment, and that's what you identify as, right?
mhm,
Without any solid anchoring point, which
mhm,
is what I was able to relate to the most. Like I'm in a very, like, my journey is still going. I don't know where it's gonna take me. I don't know. This, it's one, the journey never stops, right?
exactly.
It just keeps going. And for me, that label just spoke out the most to me. Yeah, pangender, and then it went into sexuality. Well, how do I identify as? It's like, well, not not necessarily. I guess bi would be the simple one, right? But
Mhm,
I started reading into it again. There was a whole list, right? Whoa, shit! There's all this. You can identify as all these different sexuality standpoints, and
mhm,
what spoke out to me the most was panromantic, or pansexual. I'm sorry, pansexual, and it's slightly almost related to pangender in where you're open to a broad spectrum. You can be attracted to men, to women, to to transgender, right? You can, and that spoke out to me the most because I do have an attraction towards different people. It doesn't, I don't have like one, oh, they all have to be male, they all have to be whatever,
mhm.
right? It's very fluid when it comes to that. So that, those two things spoke out to me the most. And I started uh, playing with those different categories, just sort of researching those different categories around the same time, what I identify as and sexuality. It sort of just came together in one, right?
So, you,
Back to
so
back.
you're working on all of it at the same
Yeah,
time.
all at the same time.
Mm,
Um, but it was a interesting just opportunity. Like, I never really read about this stuff. I never really looked into it. And this is fairly recent. This is probably um, I want to say probably early this year that this happened.
mm,
Yeah, if I recall correctly. Yeah, not too long ago. So if you went into any of my profiles from before, it would say transgender or whatever, right? And it kept changing like almost monthly.
mhm, mhm.
What the fuck am I? Now I sort of, now pangender stuck for a long time, and I'm like, I feel comfortable with that, very comfortable.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's good. It must have a sense of peace from that.
Yes, you nailed it. when I was able to finally connect with something that I identified with, it just it's like you instantly answered 20 questions. It's
Mm-hmm.
wow. Okay, all right. I'm in this spot, and that's fine now. And it's like a huge weight, off my shoulders, and
Mm-hmm.
that opened the door to further exploration, right? As a person. So that was really nice.
How did you explore?
So explore in which category?
Which one do you want to
Explore.
talk about?
Let's do cross dressing. This
Okay.
is this is a
Okay.
cross dress. So
Hey, we accept all genders and
yeah,
cross dressing and sexualities,
yeah, very good, very
all
good.
inclusive.
So my humble beginning was as early as 11 years old, and um, it was late at night. Uh, my brother, sister, they were asleep already. My mom, she was already asleep. Everybody's in the room, and my dad, he's off at work. He worked the night shift, and I'm bored. It's Friday night, and like I'm just bored. I need something to do. Okay, I'll put a movie on. So I started walking around, look at our selection. Bottom shelf was all cartoons and everything, and that's about all I watched. But then I was like, nobody's watching me right now. I'm gonna go to the top shelf where all the adult movies are.
Mm.
And when I say that, I don't mean like a bunch of porn or whatever. They're just
Aw,
rated R
that's
movies.
behind the beaded curtain.
Yeah, yeah. Probably. I didn't look far enough.
Mm. You got to go in the back.
Yeah, go to the back of the shelf, right? Hidden right there. And so I'm looking at all these VHS tapes. And I'm like, fuck, action. This looks pretty cool. And so I got one that stood out to me the most. It had Jean Claude Van Dam on it.
Mm-hmm.
Double impact. So took that VHS tape, put in the VCR, and just watched it. And it's awesome action scene. I would watch it again. Just amazing cast and action. And but around the middle of the film, of course, there's a sex scene,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's this between Jean Claude Van Damme, the main character, and this voluptuous, just a woman, blonde woman, tall, everything, hourglass figure, and they're somehow they found themselves on a boat riding in the sun into the sunset. Right, they're running away from bad guys, and of course they start making love. Right, and it's a beautifully shot, very very sexy. And there I am watching. I'm watching this, and she's riding him like crazy, and he's freaking gripping her by the waist and just totally taking her. And the first thoughts that come into my mind, that come rushing in, the feeling, right, is I'm not getting horny with the girl.
Mm-hmm.
I see her, I appreciate her like so much. I'm admiring her body, but that's it. I'm freaking getting turned on by Mr. Abs here.
Um,
The freaking muscles, right? And everything. And what the fuck? My eyes can't stop moving from him. Like it's like they're right there in the living room with me, right? And
mm.
I'm like not trying to look at Jean Claude Van Damme, trying to look at the girl some more. Doing it. No, I gotta look at him, his muscular back, and all this kind of stuff. Like, oh shit. And I'm getting horny. There I am, 11-year-old Joey, getting freaking horny. And I hit pause, and I'm like, I need to do something about this. Like at that point, never masturbated, none of that, right?
Oh.
But I'm getting this urge. Yeah, I already got some hints through. I felt like I already did sex ed and all that, so I knew right what might happen. But immediately I went to my bedroom, got some underwear, my underwear, cut it up to imitate a thong.
Oh.
Here's me playing girl time, right? For the very first time. Like I just have this impulse. I know I gotta look feminine, so I'm cutting my underwear. It's like I don't. Luckily, it wasn't with cartoons or anything. It was just that
Oh.
would be weird. I'm cutting up my Spider-Man underwear. No,
Spider-Man's shooting his
right.
web up your butt
Yes.
crack.
Hot. Yeah. So there I am. I cut it in the thong. It turned out pretty good. And then I grabbed just an old shirt, the print shirt, and cut it up to imitate a bra.
Mhm.
Right. Put it on. I put it on. I freaking hit play. I'm getting hard and horny, and I'm just like I'm the woman now. In my head, I'm the woman. I grab my pillow, throw it in the sofa, and I start just riding this pillow.
Mm.
Just yeah. And I'm not trying to hump this pillow or anything. No, I'm just gonna just go for it. I'm picturing I'm riding Jean Claude Van Dam's dick. Okay. There's no shortcuts. I'm not gonna freaking that's that's what came to my mind, and that's what I was doing.
I'm about to look up that scene when we're done talking.
Yes. Look it up. Yeah, double impact sex scene. Yes. And
Jot that down. I
yeah.
don't have a pen.
And I can send you the link to later because I
Oh, yes, please make do that. That'll be
just have
easier.
it bookmarked
Oh.
for safety. Yeah.
For science.
Yeah, it's for science. And like I must have been a minute and I freaking came.
Dang.
That was the first time I came. I was like, wow, well, holy fuck, what just happened? Is this normal? It's like having all these questions. What the hell did I just do? But then began the journey, and that was like I started cutting up more underwear. Yeah, my parents questioned, "Where the fuck is all your underwear going?" Missing underwear. I have no clue.
What did you do with the ones you already had cut up?
So some I threw away in the beginning. I was like trying to purge, right? I didn't even
Mm.
know that was a thing. But I was tossing it away, just hiding the evidence, just getting
Mm.
rid of it, right? Dumpster. And but I think like 2 months later, I wised up and I said, no. Sooner or later, they're gonna wonder why don't you have any underwear, right? So I stopped at like underwear number 3, and I was like, okay, I'm keeping it from now on. And that was the beginnings of hiding, stashing my stuff, right?
Mm.
The closet. So all my makeshift stuff, I started keeping it and everything. But that was my that's how I masturbated. I rode that pillow, and that was it.
Hmm.
It wasn't me, just a boy opening magazines or whatever, right? And jacking off. No, it wasn't
No
that.
magazines you found in the woods on a couch.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, it wasn't any of that. In fact, because of that double impact movie, I started looking for other scenes. So
Mm. So you have a list.
I have a list. In fact, I have a blog, and I wrote an article like on the movies
Oh,
like,
interesting.
that I freaking simulated in my mind, right? Me being the girl and whoever the character was, that's who I was, getting it on with. So that was the thing. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
was, yeah, pretty much from 11 all the way through 14, I was doing that. That was my exploration, and that was my extent of cross dressing. Right? It was just my cut up stuff. Did it evolve from that? Yes. I eventually wanted like the real thing, right? But like how? This was like pre-internet days. This is like
Mm-hmm.
mid '90s, and I don't know what to do. Who do I ask? Where do I go? Right?
Where do you go? Where do you get it?
Exactly. How am I gonna get this stuff without getting freaking asked questions and whatever? So, and I was chicken. I wasn't gonna go to the store and buy whatever. Um, but that was my sort of experience. Now, I will say, I got so desperate. I got so desperate, and I don't know why I did this. It was out of desperation. We lived in an apartment building, okay, and I I was like I was I went to pick up my mom had laundry. She said pick it up, and I went over there. I picked it up, and I saw this basket of laundry. Didn't belong to us.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get flagged about this. Whoever that was, I'm so sorry.
It was vital to your development.
It was vital. It contributed, and I fucking saw a one piece lingerie. Fuck, it was purple with sparkly glitter and all this kind of stuff. I took it. I freaking took it, and I'm like, I got my mom's laundry, and I grabbed it and ran. You know, that was my very first theft. so,
So there's been more.
no, well, no, that was the first one. The other one was a stupid uh, dare prank or whatever
Mm.
with school, but uh, that was, yeah. So I took that and freaking wore it like so many times I lost count. It was like that was my dress. It wasn't a full dress. It was this one piece, lingerie. But I loved it. It was purple, and I took care of it and all that kind of stuff. And I constantly prayed and say, I'm sorry, whoever this belonged to. Like, I'm so sorry, but I feel so good. And I eventually I ended up I late at night I wore it, and I just wanted to feel just how it would be like to sleep in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wore it and fell asleep, and my everybody's asleep, but my dad works the late night shift.
Mm.
Yeah. So this is where I got caught.
Mm.
Yeah, and a lot of questions came after that. It was like he must have came like 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and his thing is he always checks my mom and then he checks the kids, right? And so he walked into the boys' room. It was me and my brother. Had bunk beds. My brother was in the lower bed. There I was upstairs in full glory, fucking in my purple lingerie, and my dad. Like, I hear somebody coming in, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Uh-oh.
And I wasn't fully blanketed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, well, you know. So, like, yeah, I can understand my dad. He got curious and sort of opened the blanket. It was like, okay, closed it, right? Yeah, and
Uh,
yeah, I walk and I hear him waking up my mom. Yeah,
mm.
that's right. Yeah, very awkward and whatever. The funny thing was, he never asked me about it.
Oh. They
Yeah,
never confronted at all?
he he left that to my mom.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why to this day, right? And I don't even know how he feels about that. But my mom, she did the interrogation. Like, where did you get this? Where did you get that? Right? What were you doing with that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My excuse at the time was I found it in the laundry and I took it, and I was curious. I wanted to wear it, and that was it. And but she told me, like, your dad doesn't want to see you do that stuff ever again, right?
Mm.
Yeah, that was pretty much how she left me, and she made me get it, right, and give it to her.
Oh,
And
no.
she did a full sweep of the closet and found my cut up stuff. Yeah, and
Oh,
it was
no.
like, yeah, and it was like she put it in a bag, everything, and said that's enough. Your dad's pissed off, and just, right. And it was like, and I got it. My dad, he was in the military, so he was very strict, right, very limiting. Uh, what I could do, I couldn't even like go out to dances and stuff. That's how strict it was.
Dang.
Yeah, not even after school clubs, none of that. Like, I had to, as soon as school was over, I had to go home, and he wanted to see us do our homework, and after that, it was like a regimen of chores. Like, he literally had days of, me, my brother alternating. Right, my sister was too young at the time, but that's how it was. Right, so that was the very first time it was forced purge.
Mm. How did that feel?
It felt, I felt like I did something wrong, right? Like it wasn't right. But at the same time, I felt like nobody's talking to me.
Mm.
Yeah, like nobody's asking about what's going on, right? So I felt lost, and I also felt, this is very important, I felt like I couldn't really approach my dad or my mom about these things. From that
Mm.
point forward, that was instilled in me, because through those actions I was like, okay, this is something not to be talked about, this is something that I should be ashamed about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from that day on, yeah, that's how it was. So I sort of shut up my doors, kept it under wraps, and I still snuck around because I couldn't resist the impulse, right? So yeah, I continued very sparingly. I cut up another underwear and shirt and whatever, and really hid it really good. Like nobody was gonna catch me. Nobody was gonna throw that away anymore. I did not steal from laundry anymore. No, did not do that. But I did miss my purple one piece lingerie.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
your one piece that you wish you had, like, from like your whole life?
that should be framed and on my wall.
It's like a
Showing,
jersey. You should have it
yeah,
like
right, right.
autographed. You need it
Yeah,
autographed by
yeah,
somebody.
exactly. But yeah, no, that was sort of, that was the sad part. But my parents didn't handle the situation differently, right? How that played into the rest of my life, I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. But I wish we had discussion about it, and I wish my parents were a little bit more open.
Have you talked with them since?
No, no.
Mm.
I take that back. One time I tried to bring it up with my mom, um, but she literally walked out the room. We're not having this talk. Walked out the room, and that was it. And and then she came back and said, "And if you do that again, I'm telling your dad, and he's not gonna like it."
Mm.
Yeah. So it was like just solid wall, right? There was no going through, no discussion,
Mm.
and that really sucked. That really sucked. Um, but after that, and that was sort of, I was already 14 at the time when that happened, when I got caught. And when that happened, um, there was a death in the family.
Mm.
Yeah. And when that happened, the family decided to move from the country. So we moved from California to the Philippines, my mom's country. And I was 15, right? And that was a freaking just shock culturally, just everything, right? I didn't know how to speak the language. My mom never taught me.
Ah.
Who's my relatives over there? What the hell? Okay, but we're moving, I guess, to save the family, because we weren't really a family anymore where we
Mhm.
were. Just too many memories, and it was hard for my parents, hard for me and my brother too. And um, it was my sister that passed away. Yeah, very young,
So
and
sorry.
yeah, and it's hard. Um, but we moved, and yeah, sure enough, started a new life over there. It was like, okay, I did lose a summer because their system with school is different. Little did I know. So school was, we just ended school here, like literally the last day of school. I think I was, let's see, 10th grade. Last day of 10th grade, went home, and I see this freaking container truck parked out in the parking lot in front of the apartment building. Didn't think it was mine, but or we had anything to do with it. My dad came out of the container
I don't
and said,
know.
"Yeah, we're moving. Get your stuff." Right? What? What the fuck?
It's a heck of a thing to just spring on somebody,
Yeah, my dad started that way, right?
especially at that age, because like you think he'd be like starting to like think about college
Yes,
maybe and like
friends,
friends.
yeah, all that kind of stuff. That was a freaking shocker. But dad being dad, you can't argue with him. He's got the say, and we were sort of made to be that way, right? to no, he lays the rules and we follow, and that's what we did. And like I went home and yeah, sure enough, like half the shit was boxed up. My brother was there already and he was packing his stuff, and I was like, okay, here we go, you know, packing up, and like not didn't have a chance to say bye to my friends or any of that.
Dang.
Yeah, yeah. So that was a tough one, and um, I think it was 2 days from the last day of school. That's when we moved. It was very fast. Like we just enough to pack up and move. And
Dang.
when we got there, right away we were getting uniforms. What? Mom said you need uniforms for school. Okay, but we got 3 months, right? I'm thinking of summer break, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And everything. No, school starts here in June. What the fuck?
Oh no.
Bad enough for moving. Okay, all right. So yeah, I lost that summer, my 10th grade summer. Um, but then it was like I felt like Harry Potter because I met met these just new people, new faces, family, relatives, right? So that distracted me.
Mm-hmm.
That distracted me. The thoughts of cross dressing never came. It came back, but sort of in spurts, right? Because I was so distracted with all this other stuff going on, um, moving, meeting new family, trying to assimilate, right,
Mm-hmm.
and be part of that community. Um, so it slowed down that whole exploration, even sexually, completely, just okay. I'm gonna have to put that in the back burner for now. Um, and it did come back eventually. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way I'm gonna hide that. No, no. Late at night, one day, so I was there for 8 years,
Oh
from
wow.
1998 to 2005. Yeah. So did when we went there, the grading equivalency is completely different. So I skipped. Like I was in the 10th grade here, so you have two more grades. You got 11th grade and 12th grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I went there, it was like, yeah, you're in your last year of high school here.
Oh.
Like,
Okay.
okay. So that means I'm gonna be in college when I'm just not even 16. Is that what's gonna? Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna be. I trust you guys. So, so I did my last year of high school there and straight into college. So in 1999, I was in college.
Oh
There I
wow.
am, 15, about to go to 16. Um, and that's when sort of the exploring started to begin, because there's a community in the Philippines. There, at that time um, it was more. What's the term? What's the showgirl? Um, oh shoot, I'm can't remember. Cross dressing, but they're sort of, it's a show,
Like a drag show?
drag show. There you go. What
Oh,
the fuck?
okay.
Total blank. So it's more drag show stuff, right?
Hmm.
And there was a lot of that going on TV, on a local, right? So I started looking into that stuff, and that it just fed my brain again, right? I was like, oh yeah, there was that. I was doing that before we moved, and before I got caught. Um, Maybe I should play some more. And so through friends in college and everything, I was sort of exposed to the gay community, right, and all that kind of stuff. So I got to explore without the my dad's eyes, right? Because in college, you're in college,
Hmm.
parents aren't going to follow you there. Thank God he didn't. So I got to explore. I had a little bit of freedom, not too much, but just enough to sort of get a taste, right?
Hmm.
Went into a few drag shows, right? Got a taste of that. Um, and eventually, like, okay, I got to do this again. I can't get this out of my mind. So um, very dense population where we lived there in the Philippines. So it was like, it was no problem. I can go to the freaking market and buy these girl clothes and nobody's gonna know, whatever. That's what
Hmm.
I did. So I started getting girly clothes for myself, and hiding them very well, and just dressing up there, And it was between school and everything. You can only do so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did what I could, played when I could, right? Didn't really play with anybody else. It was just sort of by myself and stuff. And but the thoughts came into me, right? I started in my later years in college, like okay, I'm kissing the girl. It's not doing it for me.
Where are you, Jean Claude Van Dam?
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, where are you, Jean Claude? I
Van
even
Dam, get over here.
do the splits for me. Yeah, and
Do the
and
splits on my face.
yes, exactly. I never thought about that. Oh my god, splits on my face.
Add that to the fantasy.
But so I hooked up with the girl to sort of see. Well, maybe I'm not giving the other side the chance, right? So I hooked up with the girl. It wasn't a serious thing. It was more just sexual, right? And yeah, we were having fun and everything, but it wasn't doing it for me,
Mm-hmm.
right? It just didn't feel. Mm, it's not doing it for me. I'm just not getting as aroused, right? She's super attractive and everything, but it wasn't. I was getting more turned on by guys. That much was clear,
Mm-hmm.
and just could not stop the fantasies, right? And but that's all I could do. I just fantasize and everything. And, it was hard enough being in a different country that you weren't born there or anything. Yeah, I look Filipino, but I'm not. You know, I was born raised in California.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's different, and no matter how much I try, so I couldn't go far enough into that sexual exploration. So put that on pause, and in 2000, graduated 2005, came back to California by myself, um, and that was the beginning of craziness, like in a good way, because I was alone. I was like had my own apartment, and sort of okay, sex toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go online, whatever. Okay, I want that dick. I want that lube. Yeah, we need lube. But let's. Good. I'll take 5 of those.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Need get extra.
Yes, get extra, right? And blow up doll. Sure, let's do the blow up doll, right? Um, okay, yeah, lingerie. Let's do it. I freaking just went nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I got crazy, and it was a lot of fun because I got to do things just never had the freedom to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that fed the fantasy more. Like I need to bring this. Like I need to experience this in real life, not just me. And I knew the girls weren't doing it for me. So where do I go? I start going Craigslist. You remember
Oh,
Craigslist?
I do remember Craigslist.
Yeah,
Casual
I
encounters.
yeah.
No, I loved going on there and read. I was always too scared to do anything, but I loved reading them.
They're so fun to read through, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you go through what was it called? It was like the personals, right? But they
Yeah.
weren't really. They're like sexual advances, pretty much.
Oh
Like
yeah.
right, yeah. No, I'm a male looking for a male. I'm a female looking for whatever, right? And whatever you're looking for, they had categories for it and everything. And so I put a post up, just a simple picture of myself with just one of my panties and bra, and from the back, right, just showing it off, and freaking email just okay, whoa, right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how do I even begin? Who do I even begin like questioning, right, and whatever. But there was this one guy, sort of, hey, super shy, never done this before and whatever, but very curious. I like how you look and all this kind of stuff. I'll be really discreet and everything. Maybe we can experiment together. That right there, that phrase experiment together was sort of that's what did it for me. It was like, yeah, well, I'm sort of experimenting, so we're not taking each other too serious,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yep. I was stupid.
Oh.
Yeah, I gave him my address. I would not do that again. Next time I'd get a hotel or whatever, right? But that didn't amount to anything. I never saw him again after that first experience. But just looking back, I would not do that again, right? Some random stranger, invite him over. Um, but we hooked up, and he was super shy, just freaking. He was nervous as fuck, but I was confident as hell, and
Wow.
I took advantage of that. I freaking danced. I had just this lingerie thing that I wore, uh, two pieces and everything. Did not have long hair. It was short. It was still short, but I was dancing. I gave him a lap dance. He got, that was just rocking it, right? All these things I learned from movies, rated R movies. One of them, True Lies, Jamie Lee Curtis. You remember that scene?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Learned a lot from that one. And yeah, and he was nervous as fuck. So, I finally, he holds me. I go on top him, and he freaking, like, we barely just did anything, and he explodes.
Mm.
And I feel it, like, just, shoot on my leg and everything. And I'm like, whoa. And he's breathing heavily, and he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, it was so funny. Um, but then he cleaned up and everything, and he was like rushing, like he had just done something wrong, right? It was he dressed up and everything, and right away, completely avoided eye contact. I'm like, "Are you okay? Are you
He was so embarrassed.
right?" He said, and he just like, "Oh, thank you, thank you. That was a lot of fun." And at the door,
You're like,
freaking,
that's it.
yeah. Right before he closed the door, he peeked in a little bit. Thanks, I was like, "Wow, oh my god, all right." That was really funny. That was so funny. But that was a cool, that was kind of a fun first experience.
Hmm.
Uh, the second experience is that's what hooked me. Um, so I Craigslist again. Not immediately, I waited like probably 3 months before after the first one. Craigslist again, and this guy got my attention, and didn't live too far, and he was offering his place, which was, I'm already thinking about this, like my mistakes from the first one, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not inviting them over. What if it's a bad, some bad elements or whatever? No, I'm not gonna do that. So he opened up his doors, like, come over, right? Feel comfortable. We'll talk first and whatever. And I go over, and you know had dressed up already, and just put my boy clothes over. Got to his place, talked, started kissing, and like this guy was like, okay, this guy has experience, right? He's doing a lot more, and I'm getting freaking turned on. Like this is it. And we he starts undressing me and everything, and we're just going at it, and we go all the way. And I'm not gonna get into the crazy details of that, but
Oh,
yeah, well,
we'll
okay,
say
well,
that for another
yeah, we'll say
time.
that for yeah, we'll say that for now. Okay, no, okay, I'll give you a little bit of detail,
Okay.
just a little bit, if it's allowed. Is it allowed, Billy?
Yeah, it's allowed.
Okay,
If
all
you,
right,
whatever you're comfortable
okay,
sharing,
all right.
that's.
So it, we do the doggy thing, the missionary thing, all good and fun. But one thing that got me was he said, "Stand up," and like s- just stand between the door, like under the door frame, like to the
Hmm.
bathroom. And I'm standing up there, and he takes me from behind in standing position, right? Legs spread, my arms are just holding the frames on either side, and we're at it for like 20 minutes right there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was just like passionate because he could kiss me from behind, right? And sometimes I would twist and kiss him, and he's holding me because you're standing, you're not like, you don't have the obstacle of a bed, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So he's feeling me freaking everywhere, and I'm feeling him under, over, right? I'm like, your head, your ears, and he's doing the same to me, and freaking, I must have came twice there.
Oh wow.
That yeah, and that was sort of the first time I experienced hands free.
Mm.
Yeah, the second one was hands free because he was just feeling me and doing me, and the second one was like, fuck, I didn't know that was possible, you know.
Have you
And
mastered the art of hands free since
yeah,
then?
and there's a term for it, right? It was, and I didn't know it then, but later on, yeah, they call it sissygasm.
Oh yeah, I've heard of
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, that's what they call it. but hands free. But that was amazing, and from I was addicted, and I was like, I need more of this. This is good, and but that's when I knew. That solidified it. Yeah, not into girls, into guys,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and that's that. Nothing I can do about that. That's Joey. But from then on, I got more daring. I started,
Oh.
I started visiting like I who else is out there, right? So I wasn't gonna I was still chicken shit to go into like local bars or whatever or clubs. So I went to the next place available, the bathhouse.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
mean, that's the next logical
yeah,
choice.
yeah. So there it is. There's this local gay bathhouse. So I'm in San Jose, and it's not there anymore, but it's there. It was there at the time, and went there, and everybody's freaking naked, and it's like I'm in fucking heaven, right? There's all these dicks hanging out, and I'm gonna have my dick hang out, and nobody's gonna care, and we're gonna go, right? So we go, and at first I didn't think there was anything going on. I literally legitimately thought this was just a bathhouse. People got in the pool, people whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I rented a little room so I can have some privacy. But then I wanted to, okay, I'm gonna go to the steam. I'm gonna take a shower, whatever. I got my shower, went to the steam room, and that's where I saw like, holy fuck, there's shit happening. There's things happening here. People sucking each other off. There's fucking that corner. There's 2-on-1. What? And, and I'm there just very quiet, very shy, just whatever. I still have my towel covering me, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, there's this guy comes next to me, right? Starts touching my leg, and I'm like, okay, this is how it starts, So I take out my towel, so that's like, okay, I'm inviting now, right? And
Mm-hmm.
he looked good, he was hot, he had muscles and stuff. I'm a sucker for muscles. Thank you, Jean Claude. And he started it, and he goes down on me, and we're joining the festivities pretty much at the
Mm-hmm.
steam room, right? And that was the beginning of many adventures in that bathhouse. Yeah. And public sex. Yeah, okay, I'm digging it. I'm really it's turning me on that other people are fucking watching me. And I can do the same, right? Because the
Mm-hmm.
others
Mm-hmm.
watching was entertaining too. That was kind of cool because I learned a lot of stuff also. So that was my public sex exploration, the bathhouse.
Are you
And then
still a bathhouse frequent visitor? Maybe not that one.
wish I wish
You don't have the punch card.
I oh, the punch. Yes.
Every
No, you're
every
right.
fifth is free.
You're right. They
Oh, did
kept a
they?
they did keep a record, and it's like at the end of the month, if you went here so many times, right? They would pay for one.
They had a
And
sub club.
I did it, but you had to go so many times in a single month, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I was only able to do it once, right?
Um,
I wish I could go more, but yeah, I was only able to do it once. But that was kind of cool bonus there.
mm-hmm.
And but they closed down during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sucks. So that sort of slowed down the public sex scene for me. And then, but there's others. I just have to travel out further, right? And I haven't done that yet, right? Sort of focusing on other things, but that was sort of speaking of COVID. That was another thing that affected me big time. But but before we get into that, there's this one phase. Um, it happened between around 2010 where one of my acquaintances in Craigslist, right,
Mm-hmm.
wanted to sort of we just had fun the one time, but after that he was more interested about me as a person, right? He was legitimately like concerned, like, you know, um, are you transitioning? What's happening, right? Whatever. He started questioning those things about me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, well, right now, I'm toying with cross dressing. I like men and all this kind of stuff, and but I, you know, um, don't really know where to go from here, right? And he sort of opened up his doors when my doors were closing,
Mm.
because my family started needing financial help. So there came a time where they moved in with me.
Um,
Yeah, and all my sex toys were the first thing to go.
oh no.
Not get caught with all this. Here comes mom, and lo and behold, here comes dad. And yeah, my brother. Okay, fuck. I need to rethink this, right? I purged, and that hurt a lot. I
Mm.
threw a whole bunch of stuff. Probably, I want to say close to $800 to $900 worth of stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that hurt. And
How was that experience? What did you like drive around, or did you just know a good place to throw shit away, or is your house? I guess you didn't really care.
I actually cared because it was a very small apartment complex, and we just had one dumpster, and it was weird. This dumpster was kind of short, so you kind of knew. You opened up, you could see everything in there,
Mm-hmm.
right? It wasn't one of those taller dumpsters where you threw and you didn't care, whatever. And I didn't want to get caught um, with anything, so I got all my stuff, put in a garbage bag, and just drove around. I think I drove around for like 3 hours. I filled up the tank.
Is it really a purge experience if you haven't driven around for 3 hours?
Yeah, right. Yeah, there I am thinking about my life and everything and all this neat shit that I'm about to get rid of. And um, and I find this sort of place tucked away. It was next to like a liquor store, and there was a dumpster right there on the side. So I parked there on the side. Nobody's really there. There's some people across the street, but they're not caring or whatever. So that's where I dumped it. I dumped it right there beside the liquor store, and that fucking sucked. That sucked because immediately driving home, I was like, "What the fuck did I do? Fuck!" But come home, and the next day, yeah, that's when my brother showed up, and a week later, my mom, and then my dad, and then we're all living together. So that sort of slowed everything down for me. But I, so fast forward to 2010, um, this guy that I met in Craigslist who was starting to really be concerned about me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Started asking, uh, and he opened up his doors. Well, hey Joey, why don't you can store your stuff here, right? I didn't have stuff at the time because I did
Yeah.
it all away, but that was the beginning of sort of. But I was also financially sort of hit because I was supporting my whole family pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
and so I didn't have as much resources to buy stuff anymore. So yeah, did not get back and do the sex toys. Did not. It was more okay. What can I get on sale?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I started visiting Goodwill and all this kind of stuff, right? And slowly, just little stuff here and there, nothing extravagant. But he let me store my stuff there,
Oh.
and he even a year later he said, "Where do you dress?" I said, "Well, right now I sort of just get my stuff from your place, and I'll get a hotel, right, and dress for a day. And how often do you do that? Maybe once every 2 months." Because the hotels are expensive
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And it was, yeah, it really, it was so hard because I had my family with me, and they're always checking on me. Where are you? Shouldn't you be home by now from work? I was like, wow. Yeah, it was, it sucked. And then, but this friend of mine, he opened his doors. He said, "You can dress here. Here,
Oh.
here are my keys. Right, here's a copy. You're welcome anytime to dress. Just text me, let me know if you're gonna be there, so I don't like come home with a bunch of friends or whatever, right?" And
Mm-hmm.
you're there in the living room and fucking Joey. Yeah. So
Spread
I
eagle with a Jean Claude Van
yeah,
Dam
exactly, riding a
blow up
pillow in the
doll.
living room. Holy fuck. Yeah. So he was super nice, super nice,
Oh,
and
that's nice.
like I just had a fun. I think that was probably a good sort of, wow. I want to say almost a decade where I just sort of escaped to my friend's place. right? And dressed and had fun and whatever. And sometimes I would have a I'd get dressed or sort of get dressed there, and then um, meet someone, for a drink or whatever. But trying to escape to do my public sex explorations and all that was super hard. Could
Mm-hmm.
not. So that was put on hold a lot, right? Um, and but the dressing did it for me. At least I got to dress. At least I had a place, even if it was for an hour. Like after work, I can escape for an hour and then go back home, right? Or even during lunch break. He was close enough that I could drive during lunch break, but it would sacrifice my lunch. Like I did not have time to eat, right? Like I would
Some sacrifices need to be made.
sacrifices in exchange for dressing. That was in order. But like all things, things don't last. All good things come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
And my COVID hit, everything stopped. Couldn't go to my escape place, and sort of leading up to COVID, I had already made plans of sort of there's a local sort of transgender crossdresser friendly salon
Mm-hmm.
where they offered packages like for 200 something bucks you can get a makeover and we'll take you out with a group of other cross dressers, right? And
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I was like, I'm saving up for that. I'm saving up for that. I'm gonna do it. And I was so freaking close. So freaking close. It was like I think I even called in and made a schedule, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna come in next month around this. Said, good, we got you booked. Come in, bring your stuff, right? And they even had a small shop where you can buy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like if you wanted to do breast forms or wigs, you could do it there. And I was like, well, I have my stuff, but I'll look at your store too, right? It's kind of cool. And then COVID hit.
Mm.
All doors closed. Freaking
Oh
yeah.
no.
It's like, sorry, we're not open for business. You know. And then chaos. Everybody's locked down at home. My brother has kids, so his kids were at my place, and that wasn't really fun because it was a tiny apartment, and we're all trying to work, and kids are trying to school, and there's my dad, Mr. Military Dad. That was that was
It's
crazy.
harsh and your mellow.
Yeah, right. And but when things started opening up, it's like I called the place up, like they got to be open for business again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I was getting no answer and everything. I drove by the location, and they freaking closed.
Mm.
I knocked on the door, and the guy said, "Oh yeah, they closed shop like in the middle of COVID, like they're not operating anymore." I was
Oh.
like, "Oh fuck!" And I had this like sort of big plan. That was going to be my big makeup over. That was going to be my opportunity to go out in public, right, dressed with other like-minded people, and it was also going to be a chance for me to get storage because sort of before during the whole pandemic, my friend, he moved, so that
Cut that one out.
storage system kind of cut it off, right? So, and he even said, "You're gonna have to get your stuff. I'm so sorry," you know. And I went over there, and it's like, well, I can't bring this home. This is gonna have to. There we go. That purge, fucking hurt.
Mm.
That one hurt. That one really hurt because though it wasn't anything fancy. These were things I got from Goodwill and you know at a discount, and all this kind of stuff. And but it tore me down.
It's still
Like
very meaningful, regardless of the price of
yeah,
the items.
yeah, so meaningful. Um, and and it was the fact that he was moving and I wasn't going to have this place anymore, after COVID. I wasn't going to have this place anymore. Can't keep my stuff. I purged, I cried. Like I gave him a hug and just said thank you for it was 9 years basically. He gave me 9 years to give me that safe place.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sweet.
And he moved, and that was the beginning of depression.
Mm.
Yeah, that was the beginning because I didn't have any escape. That my plan of going to the salon and getting a makeover, it was gone. My escape place was gone. I purged all my stuff, and I was sad, angry, upset, and trying not stop. I was like, "What? If I can't do this, maybe this is not meant." Right? That made it worse. When I stopped denying my my feminine side, that made it a lot worse. So bad that a I was angry. I wasn't the happy, smiley, friendly Joey at work anymore. I came home. I was freaking angry. I gave my dad lip. I gave my mom. It was like Joey all of a sudden grew horns. Is that possible? Yeah, it's like, yeah,
You grew a tail,
yeah. I
a
grew
pointed tail.
kind of sexy.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
got one of those
right.
pitchforks too.
Yep, yep. Ooh, pitchfork.
Hmm.
Mm. And I freaking had thoughts of suicide.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was dark. That was freaking dark. But that was my sort of rock bottom of this whole thing. That's when I'm like, I was just anxiety, everything, everything was coming, and my world was crashing down. And I went for the nearest resource possible. There was that kick group I was telling you about
Hmm.
earlier,
Hmm.
and I, I, I think they're called FTM cross dressers or something. They kept changing throughout the years, so I can't really remember. But they pop up every time I
Oh,
open the app. They're there, and I know where to go because I know their logo and everything, and the girls are there. And some of them are part of the Curi-YAAS community. It's Gina, uh,
hmm.
Raven, um, and other girls from that community. They're there. Even one you did an interview with. Um, and names are slipping right now, but
There's a bunch. They all came in a wave.
yeah, they were there. But I
Yeah.
remember typing this message in Kick, and it was like, I need help. Like, I'm hurting. I don't know what to do. I can't dress. I can't whatever. I'm trapped. What the fuck? And Gina said, "Hey," she messaged me offline, right, and just says, "Hey, you should really." And she's been telling this to me before. You should really check out that podcast, the Curi-YAAS podcast, right?
Hmm.
Like they have some, like I told you, like it had some stories and everything, but there's some sensitive topics they get into and everything. So she dives more into it. And I'm like, really? Okay, maybe I'll give it a shot and everything. And at that point, I was desperate for anything, right? So closed the Kick app, dug up Curi-YAAS. Okay, there's a whole bunch of episodes. I'm gonna start from the fucking beginning.
That's maybe not the best idea.
Yeah, yeah. So I went to the start, like Giselle's first episode. Oh yeah, fuck. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this because at this point I'm like, I need something,
Hmm.
and I need lots of it. All right. So I'm gonna start in episode one. That was my that was my thing, and it was 2021. It was around Christmas time, and I listened to. I think it wasn't even the third episode where I started feeling some relief
Hmm.
because there were these stories, right? And it's like, okay, I'm not alone. There's other people going through worse. You know, I can do this. I need to listen to more, right?
Hmm.
And so I just went through the episodes and I cried, I freaking laughed. The stories were sexy, they were funny, then there were some touching ones, and that was my therapy, like I said. That saved me. That took me out of that dark spot. And all of a sudden I saw light.
Oh.
Like, all these girls are doing it. They have their struggles, they're doing it, right? I can get out. I can do something about this. So I started going about the whole thing where thinking it's the end of the world to what can I do? What can I do to change things, right? I'm not going to give in. And so, I think I was in my 10th episode already and I started making plans. Okay, well, first things first, obviously, I don't have a place, right? What can I do? Okay. So I just started looking. Hotels are probably the best option. Right? Okay, hotels, but what about my stuff? All right, storage. Okay, right. Bottom line, it was all gonna cost money,
Mm-hmm.
right? Rebuilding my clothes, what limited clothes I have, it was gonna cost money. It was gonna cost money in storage, and if I want to get serious with makeup, it's gonna get it costs. It's not
Makeup's
freaking
expensive. Even the cheap shit.
like like the I don't know if you could see it, but I have a little bit of eyeliner.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. I was
not
noticing.
it's not even because I just ran out of one.
Oh. They're
And I'm like,
sisters, not twins.
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, fuck, there's another $10 right?
Yeah, that's my issue when I'm like, oh fuck, I ran
Yeah.
out. Oh, I just dropped this thing and it broke all over the
Oh
place.
my
Fuck.
God, fuck. So it's like, yeah, it's not cheap. So I was like, okay, resources. I need resources, and I'm not gonna tap into the already hurting freaking bank account mixed in with the family and stuff, right? I'm not gonna do that. Um, so I'm like, all right, what can I do, right? And you know, just started going in through more communities, the Curi-YAAS, and I heard the stories more of the escort stuff that
Mm-hmm.
episode, right, with the escort. Um, so that got me thinking, wait a minute. All right. I know that sounds bad. It sounds like Curi-YAAS got Joey in the escorting. Not good. Hold on, hold on. It sort of complemented a couple of things. Like I wasn't done exploring sexually, right? I'm a horny person. I need it. I'm not gonna deny it. And and I need to dress and I need to evolve and I need to put myself out there. So I tapped into escorting, right? I was like, all right, I did it a couple times. Not for me. It was like I wasn't connecting with the people. They were sort of just a lot of them were just like they disappear after the first time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no contacting them or whatever. Not for me. Fuck. What am I gonna? But it made it. I got money to supply, right? I was able to get my storage unit and everything, but I needed something. It wasn't working. It wasn't doing that, right? So okay, forget escorting. Uh, Looking into things, and I discovered sugar dating. So, do you know anything about sugar dating?
I have no idea. I'm so
Okay.
interested right now.
Yeah. So, sugar dating is escorting without the horror nature of it.
Oh.
Okay. So, sugar dating is like traditional dating, except there's already a freaking uh, discussion about an arrangement. Like,
Mm.
first, we're going to get everything out in the open. What expectations? How many times do you want to see each other? Right. And most importantly, in sugar dating, you're dating. It's not a one time thing. You're seeing each other regularly, right? It's a regular thing. Um, and so we discuss, okay, what are you looking for, you know, in terms of commitment? A lot of casual dates, what about intimacy wise? How often? All this kind of stuff. And what about the sugar? So the sugar is, it can be anything from uh, fancy dinners, gifts, sometimes gift cards, right? Um, so that sort of worked for me because now I can connect with people. I can carry on long term relationships, right? See if it develops, right? Because sometimes some of these sugar relationships don't last, and that's okay. But
Mm-hmm.
it's the difference between the sugar dating and traditional dating is everything has already been talked about, expectations and all this kind of stuff, rather than you're dating and sort of discovering in the
As you
process.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, as you go, which is a beautiful thing if it works. With the sugar dating, it's just all out there.
Hmm.
It's all out there, and um, or rather than second guessing, you sort of, yeah. And by the way, I need the makeup budget. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be nice. Okay, I can help with that. Yeah. So we talk a lot about that, right? So the sugar dating, that's how it began.
How do you get
And
into sugar dating?
so with the sugar dating thing, um, are you familiar with the website Ashley Madison?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of sugar dating going on there. So I went and I so the way I discovered sugar dating from escort was I was in an escort website just collecting tips and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people's with their problems and suggestions moving forward. And one person typed there, "You're looking for you shouldn't be an escort. You should be a sugar baby."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and and you should be looking for a sugar daddy. That's what you're looking for. Escort is not for you, right? So that was the moment that got me. Okay, what the fuck is sugar dating? What the hell is sugar baby? And all that. So sugar baby is the provider. Sugar daddies are the givers, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, and it can be reversed, right? There's sugar mamas, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and stuff. So so I I started visiting. I started looking the term sugar baby and all this, and got a list. Okay, visit Ashley Madison. Visit Seeking Arrangements. Um, Visit What's Your Price. All these are sort of sugar world um, communities, right? So, and then there's this one called freestyling, where you just meet a guy and a normal way in traditional dating, whether at a bar or a friend's party or whatever, but groom them so that you start. I'm looking for a sugar daddy, right? And
Mm.
get into that sugar uh, experience, right? So that's called freestyling, right? When you're going out there and you're getting men that aren't familiar with sugar dating, and then familiarizing them. This is sugar dating. This is what I'm looking for. And there's a lot of women and some trans that have been successful with it, right? I have not done that yet. um, but if I see myself going out dressed in public, I might, toy with it. But so far, the sugar dating has been work because so far it's been working for me because it provides the resources and I get to have these relationships,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm meeting people, I'm dating, and you know, it takes away the whole one night stand type of stuff, right? Some girls have two sugar daddies. Some girls go just with one. Some multiple, right? And currently, I just have two. And sort of just one sees me maybe once a month, the other one twice a month, right? And I love the relationship because we're building something meaningful, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I'm getting my needs met,
Mm-hmm.
financially. Um, at the same time, it provides, that escape time. Like I can escape. I can dress up during these dates, right? And it hits so many bullet points for me. I can practice on my makeup, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they want to see their sugar baby, freaking made up and ready for that date.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's sort of that's the extent of sugar dating for me. Yeah. So yeah, there's a sexual aspect and there's the financial aspect to it, and everything that relates to me being able to further my my journey in dressing, in makeup, um, and more recently, sort of my physical, right? So I cannot do hormones. I wish I could. I'm just not there. Um, you know, so I do things like right now. Um, this is just a push-up bra,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, so I do what I can. Yeah, I grew up my hair. Normally, it's just tied up in a bun. Um, I do shave now. I have to. um, there was a couple, where I would dress and wear the skirt, and I was like, "Oh fuck, this doesn't look attractive." Right?
No, no.
I was like, "I gotta shave. I gotta shave." So shaving is a constant practice for me, and I think the Asian side, the Filipino side, for minimal body hair,
Do you enjoy the act of shaving?
I actually do. So it actually feels like
Is it
a
like
piece.
validating?
I've heard people like, "I hate doing it. It's too much time, whatever." I actually make an experience out of it. Like, I get into the tub, freaking, just partially filled, not all the way, just a couple inches, soap, water, and I'm shaving, and I put some music on, candles. I make a ritual out of it.
I think it's great. That's like
It's
good self care. I love it because it's for me. It's like very validating. It's a very validating experience.
it is it's so validating, and I think if you can make it a beautiful experience, right, then it's not a chore. It's part of the experience,
Mm-hmm.
right? It becomes part of it, your
The
journey.
bonus.
Yeah, it's a total bonus. Yeah, so all that self-care stuff before, it was like a chore. Oh, I only got 20 minutes to do it. I hate this, right? But I got to do it. No, now it's like it's a freaking art, right?
Mm-hmm,
Like,
mm-hmm.
okay, like this is the best version of my eyeliner I have, like today, right? And it's getting better each time. The first one sucked. It was like I blinked and it just, oh fuck, no.
Yeah, yeah. Don't blink.
Yeah, don't blink. All over my eyelids, just had this clown thing because I blinked.
You just better do the other side too. Got to
Yeah,
make them
I
even.
could put it even. But it was just, oh my god, being able to do makeup and everything, and shave and dress and do everything, and start caring for your skin, right? You start paying attention. I need to eat healthy. I need to, right? I need to sleep on time, or get enough sleep. Need to hydrate, right?
I'm
And
bad
all
with
that.
all that stuff.
It forces you. It forces. It's sort of like you're sort of, in order to progress to whoever you want to be. I'm not saying this is for everybody or anything. Some people, they're fine how they are, but for me, it was like I want to be that image. I want to be as feminine as possible.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do? Right? I'm not doing enough because I got a belly. There's things I got to work out, um, and like, what can I do to get, like, I want to lessen my muscles here, right? So there's a process to tone a certain way your body, sort of, you're sculpting,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
your body, um, and even the breast, right? But
Mm-hmm.
like, I this is sort of a new thing in my journey. I have a butt workout.
Ooh.
Yeah, abs workout video that I freaking go to, right? And um what's the other one? uh no, the breast, right? So those three: breast, butt, and abs, right? uh I can share this too. This, I think a lot of girls would
Please
get.
do. What are the? How do you do these? Because
Oh my god, it's and it freaking, I'm taking measurements, but it's like, I I've only done it for about a month now, right? And it freaking works. I'm not gonna say it's gonna grow your breast to magnificent proportion, no, but it's gonna work on what you have already and improve it, right? It's like you're taking you're taking Billy, and you're gonna make Billy 100% of what it can be, right?
mm,
Yeah, through these exercises and everything. And and when I put it together, like the boobs, the butt, and the belly, it's about an hour commitment,
hmm
right? And I'm going to share the videos with you because I think
okay.
you'll get it. Yeah, and I think I'm going to probably repost it on something. I don't know how we're going to do it, or
We'll
maybe through the Discord.
we'll share the videos to the
Yeah,
Curi-YAAS confidential Discord chat server,
yeah,
which you can find on the CrossYAASPodcast.com website. It's on the right hand side, somewhere on the right hand side. You find it. Just click it. You'll
exactly.
find it.
We'll put it all up there and share because we all, I think we can all benefit from it. But it's just simple workouts, right? Like with the boobs, they do a lot of these arm movements up and down,
Mm,
crisscross, like this, and it's just tensing up your breast muscle, right? And for the butt, there's a lot of plank. Oh, no, no, I'm sorry. For the butt, it's a lot of squats,
mm,
squat based workout, right? Where you squat halfway and all that kind of stuff. So it's intense. Like, I freaking broke a sweat. I did that early today, and 1 hour I was fucking sweating. Yeah,
mm.
Yeah, and it gets better every time. It gets a little bit easier, but you know, you have to put the work in if you want to, get any result and everything, no matter how much, right? I think it's worth it because it makes you healthy. You're getting exercise
Hmm.
and you're working on what you have, right?
Yeah.
Like you, Billy. Like I noticed from the NSFW, not safe for work
Oh yeah,
thread.
the not safe for work thread on the Curi-YAAS
Yeah,
Confidential Discord server.
right. I'm not advertising it. Yes, I saw boobs. I saw Billy's magnificent boobs,
Yeah,
and
they're growing.
yeah, no, they're growing. Are you kidding me? They're fucking beautiful.
Very squishy.
They're awesome. They're awesome. So I think those workouts will complement.
Okay.
They'll totally just whatever the hormones are doing for you. The workout is gonna just amplify it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Try it out.
yeah. So so that's where I am now in my journey, sort of on the physical part, right? Just a little bit because I do want to sort of trim down on my belly and everything. I am eating healthier, a little bit more balanced diet, less on the greasy foods. It being sort of half Salvadorian, half Filipino. Fuck, the food is good, but god damn, they're not healthy.
Oh, I know.
Giselle told me that.
Giselle knows.
He knows.
I
I
went
know.
I went to Kirsten at a birthday party last like 2 weeks ago, and as I'm leaving, it's like, here, take more food, take more food, take
Yeah.
more food. And it's like, I don't have room in my tiny refrigerator for this food.
No.
Okay, I'll take it just so you'll stop asking me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like a Filipino thing. Every time you go to a Filipino, whatever, you're taking home food and
Oh,
not
I
just a
took so much
little
food home.
or whatever. You're bringing meals home.
I brought like a family's worth of a
Yes.
family week or whatever, a week worth of family meals for
Mhm.
myself. And it's like, I can't do this.
What am I gonna do with all this food? It's so good though, right?
Hmm.
Oh
Hmm.
my god, yeah. Like I need to do that in moderation. So, so this year has sort of been very big on the physical part, like watching the food, watching
Hmm.
a little bit more balance in the diet, more veggies, more you know stuff. Yeah, and that's about all I can do. I can't get into the hormones or whatever, but I will do what I can through diet, through exercise, through the self care that we talked about,
Hmm.
the skin, the shaving, and all that kind of stuff. Um, and if I do get into any type of hormone, and I don't know if this is true or not, I read that there's some truth to it, yet it's not as effective, right? It's very minimal, and I might do that. It's hormones through creams,
Hmm.
right? So topical
Hmm.
uh, uh, way of receiving it, right? So not as direct, not as effective or whatever, but if anything, I might toy into that. Yeah, just the creams. That's it. Yeah,
Have you thought about like microdosing?
I have not. And I've heard you talked about this before on a couple episodes. Yeah,
Yeah,
couple before.
Steph F. She started out microdosing,
Hmm.
and I mean, just she didn't have like a whole lot of like physical changes. I mean, I don't want to speak for her. She didn't have like maybe she has, and I just haven't seen them because I haven't really seen her in
Hmm.
a while. But I think it did help her like with a lot of the mental stuff.
Yeah,
Like
you
for
know.
me, that was the biggest bonus was the mental stuff. Like when I always say this in the podcast, and I'm going on my 1 year follow up, so it's still true. What they asked me like, what are your expectations on hormones? And I think they're expecting people to say, I'm looking for like giant knockers, and maybe not knockers,
Yeah.
but giant boobs and like a fat ass or whatever. And like I was just like, I'm just interested in the mental stuff,
Yeah.
and everything else to me is bonus.
Total bonus and beautiful bonuses. If you nailed it right there, Billy. What you said is very important. When when you're able to be right up here, the mental state,
Hmm.
I strongly believe it transfers towards the physical. It's like
Oh yeah.
connected 100%. If you can be good internally in your heart, your mind, right, it's gonna translate into the
Oh,
physical.
100%.
Yeah, yeah. So more power to you, girl. You're
Thank
you're
you.
doing it. You're doing it. You look super happy. I remember listening to your first interview and everything. Right, it was a totally different
I can't
mood.
listen to that one. It's so hard. It's so hard to listen
Don't
to.
crash it. You gotta leave it up. It's gotta be a point of reference, right?
No, I know. So I'm really open, like with everything in my life
Yeah,
nowadays, with like basically anybody and everybody. And anytime I start telling like my life story, I always start it pretty much the podcast episode.
yeah,
So I've started condensing my story, and I'm just like, yeah, if you want to listen to it, just go to this episode.
yeah.
You can listen to it like what actually happened at the
Yes,
time,
yeah.
and not my catfish or my fishing story where everything got bigger and crazier and whatever.
Oh heck yeah! I'm gonna get this episode and use this as my explanation. Like I'm gonna freaking bookmark. Okay, you want this? Jump to number. This
Yeah,
time
yeah, yeah.
episode. Yep.
Um,
It's super important though what you're doing. Uh, your progression, like even opening up to your friends and everything. That was a recent episode I listened to a
mhm,
couple weeks back. Your friends coming over, and you're able to have this just open conversation and not a care in the world. You know, you're Billy, they're them, and you guys are co-mingling. Acceptance.
mhm,
So beautiful, so powerful. I was so happy when I saw you guys together and everything, just cracking up, throwing jokes and whatever. It's like just normal stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
love.
see, like that's how I feel about myself. I feel like I'm just myself. Like I'm not like anyone special. Like I'm just a person. I'm
Yeah,
just being myself. That's all I'm doing.
that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
And I've really developed the mindset of if somebody else has issues with it, that's their problem. That's their problem to deal with. That's not my problem.
Right there, and I discovered that a little bit late, and I'm still internalizing that thought. That way of thinking.
It's one of those
And
things you have to get to yourself. Like I could tell you all day, like yeah, you fuck what everybody else is thinking, but
Mhm.
until like
Until it
the
clicks.
connection
Mhm.
comes into your head and those whatevers are flying
Yeah,
around, those zaps or zip zapping and whatever, it's not gonna
it's
believe,
not,
it's
and,
just not
and
gonna be a thing.
it's not. You're right. And there's no way of saying, yo, you got to do this and this to get to that point. The only thing I can say, and this is just based on my limited, and my journey and everything, is you have to accept yourself first and foremost, and let it be, let it
Hmm.
grow naturally. That's how you're going to get to that point. I don't know when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, but until you accept yourself and are just totally in sync with it and live in it, right in that moment,
Hmm.
you're not going to reach that point any sooner.
Nope.
It's going to be longer if you're lucky. If
Happens
you're
when
lucky.
it happens.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And
I love.
if I can help others get to that point, that's really what I want to do.
I love that.
Like
That's
my
beautiful.
my life's goal, I think, this is the way I've been thinking about it lately, is I want, because so kind of backtracking a little bit,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about myself a lot, because I get Google photos all the time, like sending me old
Mhm.
photos, like remember this time 6 years ago, and I'm like fucking miserable looking, and I never smiled, and I have a few trans friends, like their church and just various people throughout the area here, and there's some of them like they just never smile, like they're going through with everything, but they don't have their smile,
You don't have it.
and I want to help people find their smile.
Very important. Something as little as a smile. I mean, it just lights up not just yourself, but your
Everything.
everything.
Hmm.
Yeah, something so simple. Yeah, and I have to say, I'm smiling a lot more. You
Oh.
know, I had dark times even before the depression stage of my journey, where I was always this serious. I had this serious look and everything because I wasn't doing
Hmm.
this. I
Hmm.
wasn't. I was freaking purging it.
Well, if ever you feel free to reach out to me anytime, because it's so hard to go through all that shit alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anytime, I'll listen.
Thank you so much, Billy. You and the girls in the Discord, and even the girls at the Kick. You guys know who you are. You girls know who you
There you
are.
go.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, Joey, you fuck. Yeah.
You fucking bitch.
Yeah, that bitch. Sugar baby, what the fuck? Yeah, right.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, right. Is yeah. And there's more before we
Mm,
close. But
mm,
but yeah, no. You guys have just been totally hmm, cannot say enough. And I'm gonna continue and be with you guys and just sort of be part of you guys, right?
mm.
I want to be there. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. But just sort of yeah, more to that stuff I was talking into is, and this is sort of I've been toying with it, been playing with it, and I'm kind of digging it. Um, Amateur porn.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Let's dig into amateur porn for the last 9 minutes.
yeah. Okay. So the way I got into it real quick is sugar date. The guy said, Joey, you should consider filming, right? Have you ever thought about it? I said, I have an Instagram, I have this and that. I kind of like it, kind of dig it, you know. I do some teasing post, whatever, and said, but porn, I don't know. I don't know, you know, but started getting thinking.
Mm-hmm.
After that date, I was like, I kept, okay, oh, fuck, what if I could? Like, you know, what was that gonna look like? So, so I toyed with it. I, I, I got a dildo and I filmed myself writing it, and fuck, it felt good. I think it taps into that public sex sort of
Mm.
um, feeling,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's that aspect. I don't know how to explain it. I dig it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Something about just I don't know what it is, but um, I think they're connected, and so I've been actively sort of networking people in the sort of adult content creation world and
Mm.
everything, and amateur level, um, and met some interesting people and connected with a few interesting people and sort of discovering how that process is going to look like. I have lots to learn and everything, but I did. I went for it. I did a porn shoot just recently, um, and it felt good. It just
Mm.
felt liberating, like getting out there and everything, and just this is the sexual fucking Joey energy that needs to spill out,
Is
right?
it is it out?
It's freaking out. It's freaking
Okay.
out. Yeah. So um, I did open a Pornhub model account,
Oh,
right?
okay, okay. So
So
that's
there's a
where it's
whole
at.
verification process to doing that and everything, and got that settled and started posting there. Um, and uh, I'll send you a link with all this shit.
Okay.
There's a link with all this shit that leads to everything, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And I do a blog. Um, I started podcasting
Ooh.
a little bit last year,
What's your
right?
podcasting about?
Sexual stuff,
Oh, like
just sexual. Yeah, it's all just um,
it's
the
just like your.
sexual aspect. It's like cross dressing and everything. Yeah, with some transgender, pangender stuff, but with that sexual sort of theme,
Mm.
right? Yeah,
Are you just like by yourself, or do you talk with other people?
I am by myself. Uh, though the opportunity of interviewing porn stars, trans porn stars, cross-dresser porn stars is starting to get into the mix.
Oh, interesting.
Because one of my episodes was I was freaking commentating on a Pornhub clip with a cross-dresser,
Mm-hmm.
right? and I was watching this and I was just commentating, right? And I shared the link and everything. I was like, oh my god, she's so hot. I'm just talking what's happening and everything, what I like about it, and like a month later, I get a freaking Twitter message. Hey, I listened to I'm that girl. I'm like, what? You're Mariah CD? Yeah, right. You're the podcast, the one who did that, right? Yeah. Oh my god. And she wanted to do this interview. I was like, I want to get over. Can I do an interview? I was like, I've never done one. Yeah, we could. So that's sort of in the works.
Mm.
We touched base, we connected until we get our schedule aligned. Sort of. So yeah, the podcast is very sexual.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but in within the cross dressing transgender community. Yeah.
I
So
would love to be on there as far as like me being so I feel like I'm exploring myself for the first time sexually. I
nice.
haven't done anything yet, but it's definitely
Okay.
like on my mind a lot. So I would love to be on your
Oh
podcast
my god, I'd love to have you
if you
over
would love to
there.
have me.
Like in the beginning stages of sexual
Yeah,
exploration.
like
When
I want to know all the
you
tips, like because like I I get on apps and stuff and I get matches, but like I get too fucking scared to like send
yeah.
messages. I don't know why. I'm perfectly fine and comfortable being with like anybody in person
Yeah.
or messaging anybody friend wise, but like as soon as it starts getting into that aspect, like I don't know, I'm
There's
fucking
so much to
terrified.
talk about. I think we could talk about a lot of good things with something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
please, let's do it.
How to deal with the dating websites and all this kind of stuff. Oh fuck. Yeah, we're gonna have fun.
Okay, yeah, let's set that up.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
What's the
So
name of
cool.
your podcast?
The name of the podcast is Oh My Gosh, Joey.
Oh my gosh, Joey.
Yeah.
Okay.
So OMGOSH, Joey.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you
And then
want to hear my sexual
yes,
exploration,
and more sex
visit
stories. Yeah.
oh my gosh, Joey podcast.
And anybody willing to explore their sexual side in the Curi-YAAS community, yeah, you guys are welcome.
Yeah, let's intermingle.
Let's freaking unleash the sexual energies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's just so fun. I'm just having fun with it. And I think that's the good thing. When you're having fun with it, it's gonna last,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's just gonna last. Just having a good time. And um, the blog. I mean, all these things like the social media websites, the the podcasts, me coming here now. This is a opportunity for me to sort of put myself out there
Hmm.
where I can't go out dressed, where I can't whatever. I can do it through these outlets,
You can still be
right?
visible in some aspect.
Yes, in some aspects, right? And it might be the stepping stone that gets you to the next
Hmm.
stage,
Hmm.
right?
Don't
This is
never like minimize the
mm,
small steps.
yeah,
The small
exactly.
steps lead to big
The,
trips.
the huge leaps, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. I totally agree.
Because then you're like, oh shit, I did all that stuff. Why did I
Uh
do
huh.
that?
Fuck. Yeah, right. So it's just been a wonderful, beautiful journey, and thank you. I want to thank you for having me.
Of course, of
You
course.
know, and and any you know um, anything I can contribute in any way, I'd
Okay.
love to. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to have you on again sometime. And also, I would really love to be on your podcast.
Oh my god, I love that. That would be so much fun.
So
Yeah.
cool, cool.
Yeah. You might be the first one before because it's the
Ooh.
other girl is so busy doing her porn. So
Mm. Well, I can make time.
I think we might be able to connect first.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be your guinea pig.
Yes. Yes.
Just do like me and don't come prepared.
Yes. Right. I'll come out with an outline.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think we gotta leave soon because you have
Okay. All
your
right.
limit. Do you have
Awesome.
anything else you'd like to say or add or ask or?
The one thing I just want to say is more power to all of you girls in the community, and just getting your stories out, reaching out, and it just helps all of us. Um, you know, one thing might not matter for somebody else it might. So put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. Like me coming onto the show now today with Billie, this was a big step for me. I've never done this. I never put, and I'm considering letting this whole video thing come out. I'm considering it. We'll talk. We'll talk a little bit
Okay,
later.
we'll talk about it.
But
You're
it
very
just,
beautiful, by the way. I haven't told you that, but you're very gorgeous, especially for no
oh,
hormones.
thank you so much. Thank you. That means so much to me. Um, and I just love you guys. Have been a part of my journey, whether you guys know it or not. You touched
I
me.
know it. I know it.
Giselle touched me. All the other girls touched me in some way. There's a connection. There's a bond. Yeah.
Oh, there's
So
something
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Cool.
So hugs to
Hugs, yeah.
all of you.
Well,
Hugs.
thanks again for coming on, Joey. It's been a pleasure talking with you and meeting you. This is our first time talking together, I think, by the
This
way.
is our first time. I know we chatted and you turned me on with the whole watercolor thing. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
beautiful. You're a beautiful artist. I love it.
Thank you. I
I
haven't
love
done
it.
it in a while. I'm going to do it again
Yeah.
sometime. But yeah, thanks again for coming on. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you taking the time out of your day to share your story and being visible in some small aspects. But they're huge for you, so they're not fucking small. They're huge.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me and taking time too for this. This is very special for all of us. So thank you.
No, you're
I
very
really
welcome.
appreciate it. And I look forward to more interactions.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Cool.
All right. Awesome.
I'm not here to diagnose or treat anything. I'm just here to go on the podcast and share my story, have others come on the podcast to share their stories to help others learn about the world of cross dressing, sexuality, and gender.